Welcome to the What's Happening Birmingham video podcast.
Hello, everyone. This is Jarvis S. Scott with What's Happening Birmingham. I'm back doing a live stream. Actually, this is my, second official episode. So, as I was telling you all last week, I'm going to start doing more live streams coming up in 2026. I feel like this is where social media and things are going. Everybody likes to watch it and do it live in so many ways. But sometimes doing it live is you're going to get some hiccups here and there. So you all kind of bear with me as I continue to kind of learn this thing. My second guest on the night, I wouldn't call him second guest, but I would say second guest doing the live stream episodes is none other than Centerpoint Mayor Bobby Scott. One of my favorite mayors in Jefferson County that's making things happen. He's in his second term, right?
Yep. Second term as mayor.
Second term, and he looks younger than his first term, everyone. I say that in a good way. Mayor Scott, how you doing this evening?
Hey, I'm good, man. I appreciate the compliments, especially after just having a birthday. So,
Okay.
Good. So, my birthday was Saturday. I was turning big 50. So, so far things have been going good, and I have no complaints.
Well, I wish you many more birthdays to come.
I appreciate it.
As you all know, I bring a lot of elected officials on from time to time, but a lot of times they come on when it's during election time. It's very hard to get them when it's come on after election time, but Mayor Scott said, well, Jarvis, I'll come back on again when everything is over with, so we can continue to talk about the business of the city. So thank you for coming on this evening. New year for your city. First start off, what's going on in Centerpoint?
Man, we've gotten off to a great start. Just glad to make it to the new year. Things have been quiet, numbers are down. Just trying to pick up where we left off with planning and moving the city forward and improving the small things, as best we can, hoping the big things come through for us. So one of the major things is infrastructure updates to the parkway. We haven't had a paving on the parkway in a while, so getting that paving done, trying to get Al to work with us on that, getting some additional street lights, not just on the parkway, but on the parkway and throughout the community, and working on some sidewalks, see if we can get, some pedestrian connectivity going throughout the city. So it's a lot of small things in, stuff dealing with the schools and workforce development and entrepreneurship with the kids, all the way down to we just got a new football coach at the high school, and then at the same time trying to make sure our seniors are taken care of over at our senior center. So yeah, a lot of stuff in the books, a lot of stuff just constantly moving.
Yes, it seems like you guys are very busy. One of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on tonight is because, like you said, one of the most, I would say, pressing issue that you've had, that you've kind of heard from the citizens, and I kind of read lately, is that, the city wants its own police department.
Right.
And I wanted you to kind of just, give an update, to the audience where you all are with that.
Right. So, that's something that we've been kind of talking about over the last couple of terms, is eventually getting something started. My view is, yes, I do want a police department. I want something that benefits the citizens of Centerpoint. I want, customer service. I want responsiveness to our residents. I want them to know that when their tax dollars are being used for public safety, that they are the beneficiary of that, and not just, another group getting paid with tax dollars. So I've always been very cautious when making that decision because I want to make sure that it works for the city of Centerpoint. And that may have, kind of delayed the process because when you make that decision, it almost is a, permanent decision to to a point. You obligate yourself financially, you obligate yourself legally to a lot of things that you have to kind of oversee at that point. The council's on the same page. The council also wants to go ahead and move forward. So that's why you saw the posting on in AL.com. I think we had a couple of different places where it was posted, but a posting position for chief of police. So typically we were trying to build everything kind of from the bottom up.
Mm-hmm.
Centerpoint is under the personnel board of Jefferson County. So you have to have certain things in place before you can add things to that. So we currently have a public safety department which handles our traffic program, but none of us have ever been a chief to the point where we can set up a police station specifically. So that's what this consulting chief, this is like a chief slash consulting position. So we want somebody that's experienced that would know from step one, step two, step three how to come in and set up a well functioning department, and tailor it to the things that Centerpoints need. You know, a lot of police departments are your cookie cutter
Mm-hmm.
police departments. You put them out on the street and, just kind of let them go. I would love for us to be able to, at the beginning of it, create something unique, create something that partnerships, that's a partner with Jefferson County, creating something that has a mental health aspect to it, creating something that, no matter what the issue, your public knows who your officers are, and your officers know that their task is to take care of the public. So, uh, just want to make sure all your bases are covered. You know, one of the things about being a mayor is you want to plan everything out. You don't want to just jump into something, and because at the end of the day you got to answer for it. So if it doesn't work out, all the headlines aren't going to say so and so. They're going to say the mayor. So
Yeah.
you want to make sure you do it right.
Yeah, because once, like you said, once you kind of unlock Pandora's box, it's kind of
Hmm.
hard putting it back in. Like, so some of your preliminary planning, when do you expect to be, you know, actually, workable? I would say boots on the ground, I guess, in some of the
Boots on the
words.
ground, yeah. It could be 6 months. It could be a year and 6 months. Just depending on what actual groundwork we need to have laid. Because we although we do want to start a police department, we don't want to deal with the jail.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that a contract or an MOU or some kind of agreement has to be written up to allow us to use maybe another city's jail. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of cities do that. That's kind of typical. But you also have to pay those, facilities to use what they offer. So, we could bring a chief in and immediately, right off the bat, fill it in with a captain and a couple of sergeants and some officers. We'll try to do that as quickly as we can. But at the same time, we have to order vehicles. We have to get our insurance reevaluated because, when you do a police department, all of your insurance, your costs go up. The
Mm-hmm.
police departments are not easy on city finances. Any city that runs one will tell you that that's one of the departments that you're always going to have to keep an eye on the budget because it spends money way faster than it earns money. If your police department is earning more money than it spends, then you probably have a Brookside issue, on your hands, and that's a
Mm-hmm.
whole nother problem. So we want to make sure it's sustainable, it's useful, it's smart. So we'll do the best we can to make sure that we cover all those bases.
So I know these numbers are, ever changing. What was your initial estimate cost? If you can provide the public, if not, that's fine. But just, just a range.
Yeah. So when I got elected in 2020, we immediately had a feasibility study done. That study kind of gave us a ballpark estimate of having somewhere between 16 and 20 officers, full-fledged police department, and I think it was about $4.5 million just to get started.
Mm-hmm.
Then your operating costs are somewhere between 1.2 million a year, roughly. We definitely cannot do that at that level. Our city runs on pretty much a almost $8 million budget per year.
Mm-hmm.
That's mostly salaries. So we do have to keep the lights on. So every light that that's, in the neighborhoods or the community that the city pays for. We have to, make sure all of the bills that we currently pay continue to get paid. At the same time, we have salaries to pay. We have, insurance premiums to pay. So at the end of the day, you're operating off of a public safety budget of somewhere around 750,000. And then you may have some overages from the general, depending on how the contracts with the sheriff's department works out. So we spend roughly right under 500,000 a year for the deputies to be in Centerpoint. So of course
Mhm.
we'll kind of, pull back from that and see if we can put that money into the actual police department. So we're looking at, I think maybe 5 to 6, maybe 7 officers
Mhm.
patrolling the city, and an admin person. And hopefully that keeps us under cost. Praying that nothing out of the
Mhm.
blue happens that costs us a lot more than we expected it to. So we'll manage it as best we can and figure out where the income's going to be coming from, and how we can make sure we keep that going year after year. Because you don't want to start something and then 5 years have to pull it back. We don't want
Oh,
we don't want to have that issue or have those kind of things pop up.
yeah, and I agree. And the thing about it is like people have to keep in mind like this is something that you wanted, and like with any plan, it's always subject to change. It can always be some hiccups along the way, and then some just learning, growing pains because you're building
Right,
it from
right.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. You're
You
not
know,
gonna get it down to the penny every time. So you
mhm.
you may have a little bit of overage, you may have a little bit of under, but at the same time, it's something that the residents, I think, as a majority, the residents would love to see it. I think it would
Mhm.
inspire, pride in the community to be able to see cars with Centerpoint on them and know that those are your officers, that, not something that you have to necessarily be afraid of or not have a good relationship with. That's the kind of, we're building community. So everybody needs to be a part of the community and not just, little pockets or subsets of the community. We want everybody to be a part of the community. So hopefully we don't have to raise any taxes. We also know that that's typically how most cities fund their police departments, is property tax increase or something like that. So we hope not to have to figure out how that works. But at the same time, that may be something that we have to approach, in the next year or two, to see if we can't accommodate the funds, or we can't raise the money or sustain it. We may have to do property tax increase, and that's a vote that goes back to the people. So
Oh boy, I know they don't want that. Woo.
yeah, no, nobody wants taxes, man. That's not something anybody wants to have to look at, especially if you work all week and the government gets their share, and at the end of the year, the government gets their share, and when you pay your property taxes, the government gets their share. So I
Hmm.
understand completely.
Yeah. So, you know, what else is new? Any new restaurants opening in Singapore? I know last time we spoke, you was telling me that Applebee's had closed, correct?
Yes. So Applebee's is closed, and hopefully we get that filled in faster sooner than later.
Hmm.
You still got Simone's is definitely one of the hottest spots on the east side. Caitlin's, Zadie's, even me, Tierra Linda has added a fresh bakery,
Hmm.
section in their grocery store, where they make the tortillas and the different pastries and sweets and breads, and you can get the carnitas and the different combos. I think it's called Taco El Carbone, which is right where
Hmm.
the hot dog factory used to be. They have
Okay.
great burritos. I do like their California burrito, which means it just has French fries in it. So
Oh, okay,
if you're
okay.
kind of greedy, then then that's a good spot to
Yeah.
go to. And we got some interest. We got a couple of permits, pool licenses in the process for other places that want to come in and set up shop. So hopefully those work out. And Centerpoint, out, like I always say, we're open for business. So if you're looking for a place to get started, let us know. We'll do the best we can to get you some help. If you're looking for maybe some tax incentives or some economic development options that we can help not only push your business along, but give you a break on the stuff that you have to pay back to the government. Maybe that's something we can look into as well. So just let us know how we can help.
All right, I know you got how's everything with the new council? You all getting together, getting adjusted and everything so far?
I think everything is going okay. I think when you have a lot of personalities, you're gonna have some heads that butt every now and then. So it all just comes back down to respect and the ability to hear each other out and make the best decision. So I think a lot of people come into politics or municipal government, and they have a lot of thought process of what they will do first. This is what I'm gonna do, and this is what I'm gonna change, and this is what I'm gonna do, and then you kind of realize that that's not really is how the law say is set up to allow
Mhm.
you to do certain things. Or a lot of times if it were that easy, it'd be done already, or if there was that
Oh
much money,
yeah.
it'd be done already. So there's typically a reason on why it's not being done a certain way. But at the end of the day, you have level-headed individuals sitting down at a table working on an issue, and hopefully there's a level of understanding and respect that allow whether that issue may go your way or not. At the end of the
Mhm.
day, there's 30 or 40 more issues lined up behind that one that you still have to sit at the table
Mhm.
and go through, each one of those issues. You can't just all of a sudden get mad about an issue and then ignore the other 30, 35 behind it. My whole philosophy is constantly just being respectful and allowing for other people to be heard and working with them. So
So, and I always like to give people the opportunity because sometimes people just don't know when is council meetings.
council meetings are the first and third Thursday of every month. So the first
Okay.
and third Thursday, if unless it's a holiday, and then they may reschedule it or they may plan
Mhm.
it. But we are also going to be live streaming our council meetings on YouTube as well. So
Mhm.
we have a YouTube page, the City of Centerpoint on YouTube, so you can sign up and subscribe to that, or you can catch it on our Facebook page, which is also City of Centerpoint on Facebook, and just kind of watch it from there.
Mhm.
A lot of times, in person is not necessary unless you actually have something to say at the council meetings.
Mhm.
As long as you know what's being voted on, what's being discussed, what's being passed, then you kind of know, the direction that your council people or your representatives are leaning when it comes to certain issues and whether they have your best interest at mind. So I tell people all the time, and we have state representatives and senators that represent Centerpoint. And anytime they're in town or
Mhm.
anytime, I get a chance to sit down with them and we talk about certain issues and they let me know how they feel about those issues, I can kind of tell that, well, that mirrors what I would like to see or what I would do in that situation.
Mhm.
So I have a certain amount of trust in, our state representative, which is Rolanda Hollis. She's in District 58, which
Mhm.
is Centerpoint lies, and
Okay.
Senator Linda Coleman Madison, um, who also represents Centerpoint. So when I talk to them or I go to Montgomery, we kind of see which laws they lean towards or which ones that they kind of fight against. So it kind of lets you know how they align with the values that you have and also with the values that you have for your city. Because at the end of the day, we don't want any of our tax dollars taken away from Centerpoint because we want to use them here, and they feel the same way. Right? That you're as a small city, you need all of your money to help your city function and grow. And so, as a resident or as a person that lives in Centerpoint, you
Mhm.
have to come to every council meeting. But it's always a good idea to talk to your mayor and to talk to your council people, or even just to kind of watch a council meeting to see how they stand up or they stand in for you and speak on your behalf about things.
Oh yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, any final thoughts you wanna tell the public, wrapping up anything I missed?
Man, there's I could probably talk for another couple of hours
That
about.
means that means if you can talk for an hour, that means you're doing a lot of work, a lot of good work.
Yeah, I definitely got a lot of work, and I don't ask for a whole lot from the residents, but one of the main things that I always try to throw in there somewhere is as residents of Centerpoint, as we try to continue to build our community. Um, Centerpoint gets compared to a lot of other places a lot of times, but in a lot of respects, we are unique in how we were formed and what our demographic looks like, what our housing looks like. Uh, the parkway, different things like that. We have our own uniqueness about us, and one of the things I always try to relate to the residents is that we're all in this together. I'm the mayor, and we have our council, but at the same time, none of this works without our residents, doing their part. When it comes to trash pickup, everybody's supposed to have trash pickup. Taking your trash, putting it in the trunk, and driving it to another spot is not in any city a reasonable thing to do.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And with throwing stuff out of the window, if you're driving up the parkway, just hold on to the bottle until you get home. You don't, somebody has to pick that up. Fireworks on the holidays, somebody has to pick all of that stuff up, or people have to live through that. So we really just ask for everybody to be the best resident that they can be, and operate in a manner like everybody had their mom growing up telling them, better, or what to do. When you go places, you act like you had some learning or you got some sense. So I try to impart that as a community, as we continue to build and grow, that everybody plays their part. Everybody does the best for Centerpoint, and that just only makes our job a little bit easier. So when we go out into the world and we're talking about Centerpoint, I'm appointed to, at this point, uh, I'm I'm on like 6 boards of directors at this point.
Oh
So
wow.
Centerpoint's name gets put in a lot of places outside of Centerpoint, outside of Alabama. I'll be in DC next month. I'm the president of the National Black Caucus of Local Elected Officials. So that means that Centerpoint's name is on a national level, you know, on a screen somewhere. And so when people look up Centerpoint, I want good things to come back. This is what we're doing, and this is how my community looks, and this is how my community lives. We work, we play, we continue to grow together. So, uh, and if that's being done at home, so when I go places and I'm representing Centerpoint, or I'm requesting funding or doing something that put Centerpoint in that national spotlight, then I want people to know that this is what you expect when you go there.
And I'll definitely tell people, if you're looking for some unique restaurants, travel to Centerpoint. They do. Not trying to beat her horn or extra promote, but she does a great job. Simone
Yeah.
Kitchen is exceptional. I mean, you're gonna come in. I like to say that food will put you to sleep. So
It will.
Simone,
Will.
if
Trust me.
if
I
you
don't I don't eat at Simone's and go back to the office. I eat at
yeah.
Simone's and I go to the house because I'm gonna take a nap in a minute. So yeah, we got a lot of exceptional places. I just actually went today to um, the Gulf Coast seafood spot that's right there off of 25th. They
Okay,
have
what's
some of the
happening?
best catfish nuggets uh, in Centerpoint. Now, everybody has good catfish. So Simone's
Oh,
has good catfish.
yeah.
Caitlin's has amazing catfish.
Okay.
Coos has good catfish and gumbo.
Mm-hmm.
But the catfish nuggets at the shrimp place, the Gulf Coast shrimp place, is amazing. So, and they also do the fried salmon nuggets.
Okay.
So it's a lot of good places. There's just about something. If you want to eat something, you don't have to really drive too far. Hopefully we can get an African spot in,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe a Jamaican restaurant. So that's
Mm-hmm.
something that we're kind of looking at and
Okay.
talking to people about. So
Yeah, y'all restaurants, y'all listening, y'all want to invite me out and do the mayor. I'll come out there and eat. So let's get
yeah, we still got to do our
yeah,
traveling, our food tour, so to speak.
yeah.
So we'll
So
work on
y'all,
that this spring and
yeah,
hit a few spots.
yeah. So definitely that. Well, Mayor, thank you for coming on this evening. Kudos, continue great job you and the council is doing. To keep Point moving forward. I definitely think the new police department is going to be something that's going to be a game changer
Mhm.
in so many ways that people just don't understand. Having your own police department just elevates that zip code.
Right. Yeah. And that's what we hope to do. We hope to, let people know that we're going to continue to work on it. Every city has their issues,
Mm-hmm.
it could be dogs or payroll or finances or,
Mm-hmm.
trash or crime, whatever the case is. Every city out of 465 cities in Alabama, not
Oh, wow.
including unincorporated areas, all have some kind of issue that they're currently working on. So we're going to continue to work on ours, improve them as best we can, and make them better.
All right. Well, Mayor, thank you for coming on today. Thank you all for watching. As kind of telling everybody, this is something I'm continuing doing. I want to thank you, Mayor, for being really the official first guest on my live stream. I've had Joseph Bryant last week. He was kind of like my guinea pig, kind of working the kinks out, kind of working. I'm still learning these little new tools. That's that little scrolling and everything. I'll be rocking and rolling in a little while, but thank you again, and come back again. And we gotta sit down and get somewhere to eat, and we can sit and talk and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Anytime you're ready, just let me know.
Okay. Well, thank you all for watching. Please check out what'shappenedbirmingham.com for more interviews. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, TikTok, What's Happening Beham, audio version of this on Apple Podcasts. I need to update that library, y'all. So thank you all for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching the What's Happening Birmingham video podcast. Please check out our website, app, or subscribe to our YouTube channel for the latest videos today.